Well, folks, here we are. We're on a bluff that I've never seen before. Sorry for repeating myself, but it's pretty cool to be in a place that you lived in a city your entire life. And that's kind of what's happening here. The men who paint are opening my mind. And we're here with Greg Hargarten.
Hargarten, that's right.
Got it. Greg, just introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about, where you came from.
My name's Greg Hargarten. I left university to play rock and roll with a rock band. Did that for 15 years.
Wow.
And when I turned 40, my wife bought me a gift to go to the Kenderdine campus, and I met all these guys. And really, I was into art before that, but that really sort of got me excited about painting. And then these guys have been inspirational. When you get a group of guys that are all painting together, you learn so much from each other.
Yeah.
And it's really been awesome. And we've been painting together now for over 15 years, traveling all over Canada and really learning art and about the country together. It's been fabulous.
Well, it's interesting, you say that these gents have inspired you. My brief association with you all is that you've inspired me as well. And that's important in life, you need people around you that are going to inspire you. I have not paid attention to art, frankly, and I'm probably like the average Canadian, but I think what you're doing is something really interesting, It's something special.
Well, it's interesting because Mr. Van Rees really, he ended up at the Kenderdine campus because he taught at the U of S, and this was like the Kenderdine campus was an extension of that university. And he's a soil scientist, and he was teaching classes up there and wandered through the studio. And he was suddenly struck like, oh, that looks like fun, that looks exciting. And well, he can tell you more, but he had no experience at painting at all before he kind of got hooked up with this group.
So
now, he's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I find it ironic, and I'm going to talk to him. I said this before, my joke's getting old, but a soil scientist comes to the rock. Always funny. But Greg, so one of the challenges of Newfoundland is weather. And I kind of advise you guys about that. How have you been able to do this? Here we are today, we're looking at the Narrows. Yes, folks, the Narrows is out there somewhere. How has it been in terms of, plein air painting outside and trying to get through the elements? You had a snowstorm in May, end of May, in the middle of this
almost in June in Twillingate, Canada all over is a bit of a challenge, but Newfoundland has been more of a challenge. I think for some reason, the sun's only out when we're traveling from one place to another and looking at all this fabulous landscape going, why can't we stop right now? So it's been that. We've had a lot of rain. It's a lot colder here than we expected, actually, As prairie guys, we think, we're pretty tough with whatever, but it's different here. It's humid, it's cold, and I mean, for June, the trees are just, some of them don't even seem to have buds yet,
It's amazing, isn't it?
It is. It's a lot different than I expected, certainly. But Newfoundland has also been a lot different than I expected. The landscape here is so varied. You drive on that highway and it changes every half hour. And it's like, your marshy areas, you got almost like badlands. And it's just an amazing province. And every place we've stopped, we've had 4 different stops. So we were in Grossmorn, and we were in sort of the west coast, and then Twillingate, and then now St. John's. We could paint 2 weeks or 3 weeks in each one of those places, and we had like 3 days in each of them.
It's important, I think, to anyone living in a place is perspective from someone not from there. And it's interesting to hear your perspective of that, because I think what that'll do is make the people that listen to it, that live here, more grateful,
Yeah, and it's funny because you don't really, you see it every day. You don't really, it just goes by. You've seen it since you were a kid. You don't really it doesn't register until you go away, and then you come back, Saskatoon is in the middle of the prairies, to draw a comparison. Like, I've been away a lot, and growing up there, you just want to get out, almost, right? And then you go back and you start to realize how it's actually kind of a special place. Canada all over is very special. And I can see growing up here, you would just take it for granted maybe that the rest of the country looks like this, but it certainly does not.
Yeah.
You know?
You know, 15 years as a musician, that in and of itself probably is a 6-hour podcast that we could do. Did you have a chance to hear any of the local music while you've been here, or have you been too busy?
We have not. Well, our tour guide, Paul Joy, was playing some Newfoundland songs. And my wife's from Belfast, so I'm quite familiar with the Irish traditional music.
Right.
And the Newfoundland music and the Irish music are kind of go hand in hand. There's a lot of influence there. But you know, now that we're in St. John's, Paul has promised me that we're going to go out and hear some music, and we're here on the weekend, so I'm sure we will get to experience it.
There's a lot of music happening here.
Yeah.
You know what, Greg? It's been a pleasure to talk to you. It's been a pleasure to get to know you and your colleagues. So thanks again for coming to Newfoundland and doing what you do. Keep doing it.
Yeah.
I'll be following you for many years to come.
Right on. Well, you got to come out to the prairies now.
I will. I've been there many times before, as you may know, but I will look at it in a different light, and I have some more friends.
Well, yeah, phone us when you get out there.
I will.